Good day. I am glad to congratulate all the participants of the conference, and I would like to present a topic of the research, the electronic digest formation and categorization for textual commercial content, prepared by Lyubomyr Chyrun, Liliya Chyrun, Anatolii Vysotskyi, Nadiya Shykh, Vasyl Andrunyk, Aleksandr Gozhyj, Oksana Tereshchuk, and Vadim Schuchmann. Abstract. This article proposes a functional and logistic method of content processing as a stage of the content life cycle. The method of processing commercial content describes the processes of the formation and categorization of electronic digests and simplifies the technology of managing commercial content. The paper analyzes the main problems of functional services for processing commercial content. The proposed method allows you to create tools for processing information resources and implement subsystems for managing commercial content. Introduction. The solution of complex problems in any sphere of life requires information support. Meeting information needs is a prerequisite for innovation. However, the difficulty of obtaining information affects the efficiency and quality of decision making. The Internet environment is one of the large-scale mass media in the form of a multitude of information resource content. It is customary to consider individual network elements as full-fledged media. Network media is portals with a certain periodicity of updating, electronic versions of printed periodicals, electronic newspapers, and magazines. The Internet environment does not compete with traditional media in many respects, however, according to some criteria. It has advantages due to its technical characteristics. The Internet environment successfully serves as a source and means of distributing content. Related works. A feature of the Internet environment is the constant growth in the production and distribution of various types of content in it and an increase in its volume to the extent that it makes it impossible to process it directly. There are a number of specific problems associated with the rapid development of information technology. The situation of a sharp increase in the rate of content production and an increase in its volume in the Internet environment led to a number of problems. A disproportionate increase in information noise due to poor structured content, the appearance of spurious content obtained as applications, mismatch of formally relevant content, thematically relevant to the actual needs of its consumers. Repeated duplication of content, for example, publication in various publications. A summary of the source material based on the selection of the most relevant information from the text using artificial intelligence methods and special information languages and the generation of new text that summarize the primary documents. One of the basic procedures for systems of this class, automatic generation of digests, is an automated abstracting based on a large number of documents. For the digest, documents are selected in which the trends of the entire input stream are most clearly reflected. Such digests mostly closely correspond to the information needs of the user at the request of which this input information stream is formed. Based on the abstract, which amounts to an insignificant part of the source text, users can draw up a reasonable conclusion about the primary document, having spent much less effort on this compared with acquainting it. When automated abstracting, the abstract should be from 5% to 30% of the source text. The preparation of documents in the form of annotations from several sources, digests, provides an even greater degree of compression. Automated abstracting is reduced to extracting from documents the minimum relevant fragments using analysis of surface synthetic relations of lexical units in the text. Text mining is a set of text processing methods because of which new knowledge appears. This is an interdisciplinary field where the basic data mining technologies are used in combination with techniques from other research areas such as information retrieval, information extraction, mathematical linguistics, classification, clustering, and ontology creation. Find the way out can only in automation tools for identifying the most important components in information flows. In recent years, resource monitoring systems have increasingly used. This promising area is called content monitoring. Its appearance was due to the tasks of systematic tracking of trends and processes in the information environment, which is constantly updated. Content monitoring is most often understood as a meaningful analysis of information flows in order to obtain the necessary qualitative and quantitative slices, which is carried out continuously for a period not determined in advance. The most important methodological component of content monitoring is content analysis. The purpose of the study is the design and development of the intellectual components of the automatic formation and categorization of electronic digests. To achieve this goal, it is necessary to solve the following tasks: to conduct a systematic analysis of the subject area, to develop a model for the formation and categorization of digests. The object of research is the analysis of the processes of formation, processing, rubric of information flows in the media. The subject of the research is text processing and digest generation algorithms. The scientific novelty of the obtained research results is due to the set of tasks consists in a comprehensive study and systematization of theoretical and applied problems of obtaining the necessary qualitative and quantitative information slices in the form of digests. When solving the tasks, the context model of the system for the automatic formation and categorization of digest of media publications is proposed for the first time. Materials and methods. In text mining, the key elements include summarization, selection of phenomena, feature extraction, clustering, classification, question answering, thematic indexing, and keyword searching. In addition, in some cases, there will supplemented the set by means of support and creation of taxonomies and thesauri. Aleksandr Linden, director of Gartner Research, identified 4 main types of text mining IT applications. Text classification using statistical correlation to build rules for placing documents in conditional categories. Clustering is based on document attributes using linguistics and mathematical methods without using conditional categories. Semantic networks or link analysis determine the appearance of descriptions, key phrases, in a document to provide navigation. Extracting facts is intended to obtain facts from the text in order to improve classification, search, and clustering. There are several more tasks of text mining technology, for example, forecasting and finding exceptions. Stemming is the process of reducing a word to the base by discarding auxiliary parts such as the ending or suffix. The presentation of the text depends on the task, which determines the ease and effectiveness of data manipulation. The most widely used view is the vector space model. In Table 1, there are formulated the advantages and disadvantages of presenting a document by individual words or whole phrases. The use of phrases compensates for the shortcomings of the analysis of individual words and vice versa. The task of classifying a document varies depending on previously identified relationships within the document and between documents. The classification criteria are preliminarily determined before deciding which algorithm to apply. A digest is an annotated text built based on the analysis of several documents. When compiling digests, the automated abstracting methods of one document are distributed to an array of a large number of documents. Content monitoring is a semantic analysis of information flows in order to obtain the necessary qualitative and quantitative sections. Clustering. For these methods, there is a certain threshold function of the quality of clustering, the maximization of which is achieved through the distribution of documents between individual clusters. Topic indexing. Proximity. The subject of the document is determined by its vocabulary, and the thematic proximity of the terms is characterized by how often these terms are used in documents of the same subject. Table of interrelated concepts. The Boolean search model is a classic and widely used information representation model based on set theory and an information search model based on mathematical logic. Latent semantic analysis or indexing is a method for extracting hidden context-sensitive values of terms and the structure of semantic relationships between them by statistical processing of large sets of text data. Matrix latent semantic analysis. The mathematical apparatus of this method is based on the singular decomposition of matrices. From matrix analysis, it is known that any rectangular matrix A can be decomposed into a product of three matrices, such that the matrices U and V consist of orthonormal columns, and X the diagonal matrix of singular values, the diagonal elements of which are the singular numbers of the matrix A, that is, the integral square roots of the eigenvalues of the matrix. The ultimate goal of the system is the automated compilation of summaries of materials, digests of electronic publications in the media, that is, the extraction of the most important information from one or more documents and the generation of concise and information-rich reports on their basis. So, at the top level of the hierarchy is the goal, the selection of meaningful information. At the second level are criteria clarifying the purpose, the basis of the text, the completeness of the glossary of terms, and the number of key terms. At the third level are alternatives of choice, fragments of the source text. The use case diagram depicts various scenarios of interaction between actors, users, and use cases. It describes the functional aspects of the system. Figure 2, precedent diagram of a system for the automatic formation and categorization of digests for electronic media is presented. Using text mining algorithms, a digest is formed. To visualize the statistical aspects of the system, a class diagram is built. Figure 3 shows a class diagram that describes the system. The content class is presented as part of the analysis class, which is part of the rubricator class. The dictionary class is presented as part of the areas of headings and analysis. In picture 3b, a state diagram of the system of automatic formation and categorization of digest for electronic media is presented. Activity diagram is a diagram on which the schedule of some activities on its component parts is presented. Figure 4. The time is also vertical. It is directed downward, and arrows with the names of the operation and parameters, figure 5, indicate messages that are sent from one object to another. The cooperation diagram, figure 6a, is intended to specify the structural aspects of the interaction of the system. Cooperation is useful when modeling design patterns. Firstly, all dictionaries are different and not equivalent to each other. Most often, the task of distinguishing the meaning of words from each other is not difficult. However, in some cases, differing meanings of a word can be semantically close. For example, if each of them is a metaphor or metonymy. And in such situations, the separation of meaning in different dictionaries and thesauruses is significant and different. Digest building. Stage 1. Build a digest that reflects the main trend. Stage 2. Removal from the input information flow of documents corresponding to the trend that was determined in the previous step. Stage 3. Build a digest that reflects the main trend of the rest of the information flow. Stage 4. Combining received digests. Stage 5. If necessary, based on the required volumes of the resulting digest, the transition to step 2 is performed. Consider the algorithm of the system of automatic formation and categorization of electronic digests. Logical database scheme. Such informational relations in SQL represent all system characteristics. JAWS content class is information and metadata of articles posted on an information resource. Digest, information about created digests, identifier, name, digest text, creation date, category identifier. Rubric class is rubric information, identifier, rubric name, weight. Lexeme class is dictionary token table, identifier, token, counter. Stem class is a table of normal dictionary forms, identifier, topic, counter. Stop word class is table of stop dictionary words, identifier, stop word, weight. The database structure for the intelligent system for the automatic generation and categorization of digests is represented by the phpMyAdmin interface in figure 7. In the work of information and analytical services, and enterprises have to deal with a wide variety of sources of information. These are electronic newspapers and other internet resources. In this paper, electronic media, their disadvantages, advantages, services are considered. The studies of electronic media allow us to conclude that the use of human labor in the processes related to the formation and rating of digests is inappropriate. A key part of this work is the development of methods for the formation and categorization of electronic digests. The experience of implementing the system in various organizations has shown the efficiency and simplicity of adapting the system thanks to the developed tool for automated generation of digests and their categorization. A universal data collection model allows you to fully automate the input of electronic information from various sources with its reduction to a single internal format, that is, to minimize the routine work of entering text data. The built-in system for automatically tracking the updating of these pages on information sites on the internet allows you to automate this part of the information and analytical services of enterprises. And finally, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.